Hello and welcome to Spilling the Ink. If you were here just a few minutes ago, you got to see my very first blooper on this show, which is pretty funny. And I learned something. If you are going to be doing this, don't have the YouTube live up as well, because then when it starts playing, you're going to get this weird echo and you'll be really confused as of about 3 minutes ago. But I figured out what was wrong, clicked out of YouTube. I don't even know why I had it up. And let's get going. So this is Spilling the Ink, which is going to be a new show that I'm doing, kind of to replace Cake and Hyperbowl, which has been 19 episodes, if you can believe it. I certainly can't. I still feel like I need to go back and figure out why there was so many episodes. But we did do it for about 2 years, Amy Zollers and I. And if you're missing Amy Zollers, she will be back every first week, every first Saturday of the month, or every first show of the month. Amy Zollers is coming on just like before. The first show of the month will be dedicated to poetry. So kind of like Cake and Hyperbowl, but with a different name. And then there will also be another show called I Have Issues, which is where I'll be going through old issues of Space and Time magazine, which I believe I'm going to be going through issue number 67 this week, and you'll be able to get these yourself on the Space and Time website, because we have 100% every episode, or I'm sorry, every digital edition of the magazine now, from number 1 on to the current number 142, which brings me up to our sponsor for today, which is a Space and Time magazine. Imagine that. But if you go over to spaceandtime.net, you can find the latest issue on Amazon. And I have a little video from them, AE, me, and the rest of the Space and Time team. So, but that's it. I want to get a little bit into, this is the first week of Brazil. I think we're doing pretty darn good, all things considered. We are ordering food now, using a lot of translations. We have bought groceries a few times. Got some really interesting things that are delicious. Got some not so delicious things. But in the whole, we're being a little bit independent here, but with a lot of help. There's been a lot of help. The hardest part of the trip, honestly, was the dogs and everything. This is a warning. If you're going to try to do the digital nomad life with dogs, don't believe anything they tell you, because it was dangerous. We really came close to losing the dogs, the 3 dogs. That was not good. And it was $5,000. It was over $5,000. I'm sorry, to get these dogs over here. And it didn't start out that way. Nobody in the beginning said, it's going to be $5,000 to get your dogs over in a grueling trip that could almost kill them. But, that's why I'm telling you this now. But the problem was, there's not a lot of information online. Apparently, Pet Embark is the only people that you can ship dogs with. And I assumed in the beginning that they were going to be coming with us on the same flight, but they're not. Pet Embark insisted that they go the day before, because they said that the customs here would be closed when we arrived. That was not true. So the dogs got an extra day of travel that they didn't need prior to this. And then when we got here, they didn't tell us that there was going to be 7 different offices we had to go to and have the local CFA number and all sorts of things like that to be able to get the dogs out. And the dogs, by law, weren't allowed to have food or water here when they got here, when they were on that dog, because of reasons, liabilities and stuff. So all in all, the poor dogs had a 4-day trip. By the time they got here, they were quite a mess. But everybody's recovered. This is the happy ending. Everybody's recovered. The dogs are fine. You'll probably see a couple of them trucking back and forth. This is the new house. Oh, there's one there. That was Bree that just walked by. So everybody's recovered fine. But I just want to say there needs to be better education on traveling with pets, like 100%. And I'm actually going to write up more on that with more details of how we did it. And I just want to say thank you to a friend, KG, because if he had not been there to translate for us and help navigate, we really may have lost the dogs. I mean, it was very close. So, but that being said, that is my dog warning. I'm going to tell you about a super exciting thing that happened. Last night, I was sitting at this desk. Behind your POV, your point of view, is a wall. And so as I was working last night, I kept seeing a shadow going across, like in front of me on this wall. And I thought it was a moth. And I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to it. And then I finally turned around to find out why this moth was being so annoying. And it was a bat. I swear, a bat, probably about this big, gorgeous little thing. It was zooming around the house, so clever, didn't hit anything, not like birds that run into walls and windows. Zoomed by my face without a sound. Like, I see why, the whole stealth thing with bats. But he got outside safely, but I just thought that was the super coolest welcome to Brazil I could ever have imagined. And then as far as Brazil is concerned, we are absolutely loving it. It's, like I said, it's been grueling. We got here on the 30th, I think. I'm pretty sure we got here on the 30th. And then we went to get the dogs, and the dogs had been delayed in flight. So that was the other thing. The dogs got delayed twice. So they were in those kennels quite a long time. Apparently, the first night, they had a 2-hour flight, and then they got to go out in like a doggy daycare kind of thing and run around with the other dogs and play. I'm really wondering about that because we tried to check on them and call, and they did not have a record of our dogs there, they said, this doggy daycare. So that's going to go into a whole nother show where I talk about the dog situation and what happened there. I'm just waiting to get some answers first on a couple of things. But so anyways, we delayed a day waiting for the dogs. So we spent that first night in Sao Paulo. And then we spent 7 hours with customs running around to all the different offices the next day, which was New Year's Eve. And by the time we got done with that, we were way too tired. So we decided we're not going to try to do the dogs at that point or try to do the drive, because then it was a 12-hour drive to come to where we actually live in Rio do Sul. So, yeah, we decided not to. So we spent New Year's in Sao Paulo, which was awesome. And we were guests of KG and his family, which was wonderful. And, yeah, then we took the drive back. But I will say driving back on New Year's Day was perfect because there was nobody out. The roads were so clear. We didn't have but a little bit of rain. So it wound up being a pretty easy trip back, which was nice. And we could stop and let the dogs stretch their legs and everything. Got to our new house, which is this house that you're seeing behind me. And I do have a video tour of it here in a second that I'm going to play for you. But we got to this house. And, of course, there was a lot of, like, cleanup and chaos and, moving across the world things, that happen when you have no luggage or anything hardly. Because we did wind up leaving a lot of our luggage in Sao Paulo because it's getting shipped to us because the cars are smaller. So, and that is one thing, impressions of Brazil, everything is smaller and it's kind of cute. And I almost feel like I'm playing like house, like as a kid, because the washing machine is so small. The stove is so small. There's Brie again. See, fully recovered, but it was just a trip that we probably hope to never make with these dogs again. But yeah, so everything is super tiny. All the portions are tiny. It's awesome. That being said, my chair is too big, as you will see in the video. And so I have boxes underneath my chair for my legs because Brazilians maybe are taller than your average 5-foot tall person, but I think that's probably true everywhere. So, but yeah, we got here, we did a bunch of cleanup. We were jet lagged as all get out, so tired, but we made it. I think it's within 3 days, we ordered food. We've already had one doctor trip, not a big deal. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So I can't think of anything else to say right now. So, oh, and I do want to explain the show a little bit. It is going to be a blend of me sharing the things that I've learned about, say, Brazil or traveling with dogs or just digital nomading in general and the whole digital nomad visa, which is kind of becoming a thing. I think Spain just approved digital nomad visas. And I'm really kind of excited to take advantage of this and travel the world a little bit and, you know, work from my computer, which is what I'm doing right now. And then some of it will also be guests sharing their points of view and things that we might not be familiar with. And so upcoming, I do have a pet sitter, and I have a mortician at some point. I have a musician that I'm after right now, some poetry. Again, like I said, the first week of the month will be focused on poetry. And I can't remember who else is coming up, but pretty excited. So it'll be a nice blend of both. But the shows are going to be short because I am short. Yeah, the shows will be short because we're all super busy and I've got to get to work. I've got some things to do right now. But just a quick jumping on and sharing a point of view about something or somebody or from me. And that's pretty much it every Saturday. So now, with that said, I'm going to share the video house tour. And I'm kind of went through, you'll have to forgive me because it is still a mess, but here it is. Oops.
Week house tour. Now, before you get to see anything, know that it is still a chaotic mess. But this is my desk right now.
I said that, did I not?
Yes, my Stokers have actually come in very handy because they are A, holding up my monitor because I don't have any monitor stand, and the chairs are too big for me, so the boxes make a good little footstool. But this is what I am trying to steal as my office in the north part of the house, but Ryan is using it right now. And our bedroom, Ryan is not feeling good, so still a mess, like I said. It's choopy. This is the living room, which is still pretty empty, but that's okay because we know we're going to have to move again at some point, so we don't really want to fill it up. We have this room, which will probably wind up being my office. One thing I think is so cool about Brazil is everybody's so into the cottagecore right now. That is these windows. There are no screens. You just open up the window and click it open, and it's actually really nice. They latch, super cool. Okay, so I do see the lure of cottagecore now that I am living it. And this is the view. That's a soccer field outside, like right next to our house. So we're in a really, really quiet location. And the houses are made of wood or brick. And so we live in a wood and brick house. It's like my knickknacks. This is going to be the guest bedroom, so people who might want to visit, that would be your view. Let's go into the kitchen where it's super exciting and interesting. We bought all the furniture, which was really cool. Just walked into a place and it's all used furniture, but who cares? I like used furniture. Walked in and just basically bought 2 households worth of basic furniture for $650. So this is where I'm keeping snacks right now because I don't really have a lot of places. Little overview of the kitchen, and then I'll kind of go over some details that I think are cool. Stoves. That stove is so lightweight that you can pick it up. The stoves are on propane, so you just kind of set them wherever. And then, and dirty, don't mind the sticker, the price sticker. The stoves come with this little thing, so you can use it as a tabletop if you need to, like you're cooking, not just always have it. And look how easy it is to clean these suckers. I mean, for a used stove, this is in really good condition. Because I'm going to say Brazilians are smart. And then we have this little cast iron stove, which, you know, in the States is like, oh my God, cottage core. So we have this right now because it's summer. I am using it to hold fruits and vegetables. But yeah, you put your wood in there. You take your ashes out of here. And then you store more wood under there. And probably right now, spiders. And so this is where we make coffee. We will wind up getting a stove put in here. They do inset stoves a lot. And then there's like the place for your pots underneath. The tiny little sink. So I kind of feel like it's a camper sink again. Everybody uses these for water. So we have that. I think that's it in this room. Let's go out to the party room. I'm probably saying this wrong, but I think this is called a chahasca, and it's a mess right now. But this is where you have your parties. So if you look at the ingenious design of this place, with a built-in grill, of course, because you wouldn't want to have a party without your very messy right now built-in grill, because we've had nonstop parties here since we've been. So you could seal the kitchen off, or since a lot of people congregate in the kitchens here, that door so you can seal the rest of your house off. And they have access to 2 bathrooms. So ideal for setting up parties. I see why the Brazilians are so happy. And there's a bathroom here in the party house so that you can party and go pee and party at the same time. This is the pool, but right now it's very messy because we have to get it cleaned and started. Let's get a little shower over there. So right now, because we have a baby and dogs that don't know how to swim, we're keeping it locked. Okay, and then from the party room, you have these really nice steps to go down to the carport. Yeah, let's go see more house. Let's see. Okay, laundry room, which is like kind of basic, but they don't have dryers. So like I said, it's a mess. Excuse my laundry hanging out everywhere. Bathroom again. Oh, one super interesting thing, besides all the outdated tile, is all of the showers in the US were so big on like, oh, if you can have tankless hot water heaters, that is what you have here. You hook these up to your faucets. So you basically turn any faucet you want into hot and cold water, but otherwise you just have one temperature. So one temperature. But if I want this to be hot or cold, I can just get that gizmo and it heats it up right there. This is part of the yard, and that's another house downstairs. That's where my son is living. The killer stairs that we fully expect. Hopefully no death to happen on these, but yeah, pretty steep stairs. Our little fat American legs can't take it. And these, super interesting way to clean the floor. They don't have mops necessarily. They sweep and they use these squeegees, which I will get more into later. And you just pour water on the floor. That's why there's a drain. And then you can clean it with a rag, which I have in here. Clean it with that rag, and then you throw the rag in the wash so you don't have a lot of nasty mop stuff around, and your floors are super clean. So my floors are not super clean right now. But I think that's it. I think that is pretty much the tour of the house. There is, this is where the pasture in the back is, so we have cows and horses that will come up to this window sometimes, and we can feed them apples through the window. Super, really peaceful and beautiful life, I will say. And then I will show you the other angle from the yard. And this is the view I think that I shared. Never mind my blanket hanging there, trying to shake all the dog hair out. And my garbage that I have to take out. And a chief wants to say hello. He had a horrendous trip, which I will tell you about at some point. And then here's the yard from the other angle. It's my son's. I can sit in the swing, look at the mountains. There are actual bananas growing on these trees and all kinds of fruit, and it smells amazing. But that's pretty much the house tour. House comes complete with a wild choopy.
All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will definitely do more house tours and update kind of as we're going along with stuff, like when we get the pool cleaned, which I'm so excited to do. But that's what kept me going on the plane, is thinking I was going to get off the plane and jump in the pool, and it was going to be so awesome to stretch out and, be cool. That didn't quite happen, but it's okay. I'm still looking forward to it. That about caps up today. I mean, pretty simple and short. I do want to say Thursday, January 12th, I'm going to do the first I Have Issues, where I will be covering number 67, which I have on my Kindle. And you'll be able to download 67 yourself and get a copy if you want. That's from back in, I think 67 was 70s. That had to be a 1970s issue without looking at it. Next week, I'm going to have Amy Zollers, my co-host from Cake and Hyperbole, and my poetry sidekick or partner's a better word. And we're going to also have Pete Kelly joining us. And Pete Kelly just came out with a book, What Appears in the Dark, a poetry book. It's his first poetry book. So we're going to get him to read for us. We're going to talk about his poetry, and we're just going to basically catch up, because this is the first time I will talk to either of them in this new country, in Brazil. And then if you want to go and get some of the links that I've been sharing, that I've been talking about, or anything like that, or just get some love, go to AngelaWifeSmith.com, which is my webpage, like my kind of online home. And also, I hope you will go visit spaceandtime.net to get your copy of number 142, Space and Time. A lot of really good stuff in here. I came out, I think, a day or two before we left. I do not have a physical copy yet. So I'm really happy now that it's available on ebook, because I'm not going to get to touch it for quite a while. It takes a long time to get mail from the US to here. So that's it. That's today's show. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on and joining me in this. And I will see you next Saturday with Amy Zollers and Pete Kelly. And otherwise, I'll see you Thursday for I Have Issues. And after traveling all of that way with 3 dogs and all the things that happened, yes, I do indeed have issues. Thank you so much.